Hello everyone. Now, this morning I went to go and wake up Tefnut and Lucy and the room was very quiet. They weren't in there. So I came to put on the kettle for the tea. And where did I find these two little munchkins? But, hello guys, here in the kitchen, saying, Mummy, we've been waiting for you to get up. Yes, and? What is it? They said to me, you know what? Before we went to bed last night, we noticed that this little tray had been left out. We hadn't put everything away. And they purposely, cheeky, left it out and didn't put it away because there were two of our favorite ingredients there. What do we know? That's cinnamon, that's right, and a lemon. And they know that we can have that with pancakes or crumpets. So you know what? That's what we're having this morning for breakfast. We need our ingredients. So what are we going to need, guys? We're going to need some, thank you Tefnut, we're going to need some flour. Yes, we're going to need, Lucy, some sugar. Yes, we're going to need some sugar. And we're going to need milk. Yes, from the fridge. We're going to need some milk. And, oh, my tray's not, this is a little tray. And we're going to need some salt. Thank you, my sweetheart. That we'll get from that side. And we're going to need some baking powder. Yes, we're going to need some baking powder. There we go. Miss Carr always keeps it in the cupboard upside down. It's a trick my granny and my mum taught me. They said it keeps it fresher for longer. I don't know if it works, but it probably does because, well, it's always worked for them. And, what else do we need? Eggs, yes. We've got eggs. We've got 2 eggs. 1, 2. Thank you. I'm going to put those on the tray. And last thing, butter. Yes, we need a little bit of butter. There we go. We've got all those things. Do you know what, guys? I think I'm going to need your help. Lucy, will you bring that for me? You can turn it the right way now. The baking powder. And Tefnut, can you bring the flour for me? Thank you. Great. I'm going to take the rest. You can bring that. And we're going to go make it on the other side because we're going to use our electric frying pan to cook our pancakes. Yummy. So I'm going to need a bowl and I'm going to need a whisk to mix everything together. I'm going to need a spoon and a spatula when I'm cooking. Right, now we are going to put about a cup of flour. Yes. Now, there we go. I'm going to use my spoon to put it in my cup because my container is a bit tricky to get my cup in. So, there we go. Should be holding it by the handle, hey? There we go. 1 cup and in it goes. And I'm going to put some baking powder. Yes, a teaspoon. There we go, of baking powder. Teaspoon. Must be level, yes. Okay. Okay. There we go. Level teaspoon. Baking powder. And you could put a little bit more baking powder, but I like to use an extra egg instead. Okay, because the egg will help it to be nice and light and fluffy. And the baking powder can sometimes give it a bit of a artificial, that's like not a natural kind of taste. So we finished with our baking powder. We finished with our flour. We need a little bit of sugar. Yes, a little bit of sugar. I'm just going to put in a spoon like that. Don't need to be too exact with measuring. That's fine. And cinnamon is for sprinkling afterwards. Now, then I need my butter. My butter. And I need to melt the butter. We'll add the butter just now with the wet or dry ingredients. If it's melted, will it be wet or dry? If it's melted, it's going to be wet. That's right. I'm going to just put it in a bowl that can go in the microwave. I'm going to melt it in the microwave. Just see, there's half a block of butter. That's going to be now, there's 4 pieces I've divided it into. That's quarter. I'm going to need half of a quarter. So that means I'm going to need 1/8 of a block. Nice rich this will be. I'm just going to cut that butter up. It's a bit cold from the fridge. It's not soft like I was doing the other ones yesterday. Break it up a little bit and into the microwave to melt. Just watch it. It'll probably be about half a minute, but you just have to watch it and melt it. Okay, so my butter's out. It's nicely melted. That's going to now be a wet ingredient, liquid. Okay, I need now my eggs. I'm going to crack them. How many? 1, 2. Thank you, guys. Right, I'm going to crack them into my bowl here. And I'm going to whisk those together. Will they be a wet ingredient or dry? Yes, they're going to be wet as well. Right, we don't want to waste any of that egg white. There we go. Take that out. There we go. Remember, always wash your hands when you need to and dry them. Right, so I've got a little whisk here. I'm going to whisk my eggs like that, just a little bit so they break up. Now, again, Miss Carr doesn't really measure too much for this ingredients, for this recipe. Measure the flour and the sugar, and then the wet ingredients, I sort of adjust it. That means I make it just what I need. I start with a little bit, and if I need to add a little bit more, I do. I need to add a little bit of flour. Sometimes we do, don't we? Then we've got to be a little bit careful that we don't go adding too much. No. Right, so a little bit of milk goes in there. There we go. And the other ingredient we didn't talk about, vanilla. It's nice to put a little bit of that and makes it nice and sweet here. Because they're sweet already with a bit of sugar, not too much sugar. So that's a wet ingredient I'm going to put with the milk and the eggs, and I'm going to just that's looking good. Starting to get a few little bubbles. That's when it's sort of fine. Right, and I'm going to take my little whisk out, put it on the tray. And I'm actually going to use a whisk for my mixing. So I'm going to just mix them like that. And in goes my wet ingredients. Okay, so they go in like that. And then, I'm whisking, and I'm whisking. Am I doing a good job, guys? Yes. Do you think it's going to be too dry? I think, well, Tefnut thinks so. So does Lucy. They think it's going to be a little bit too dry. Yes. We need to put some butter in. You need to put some about melted butter. It's also a wet ingredient. Thank you. Yes, I need to put in the melted butter. It is a wet ingredient. Yes. So in it goes. And I'm going to mix that in like that. Oh, this is looking good. And I think it's still quite sticky, so I am going to still add a little bit of milk. Yes, I want it to be a little bit sort of porry, a mixture that you can sort of take out a spoon and pop it into your frying pan. What do you think, guys? Have a look. Have a look. Yes, they're thinking it's starting to look good, Mummy. This is a mixture that you leave for a little bit before you start cooking it. That helps it to really be nice when you do cook it. And then by the time we've set the table, the pan is warm, then it'll be time to cook our crumpety pancakes. Yummy! I'm going to tidy this up while I wait for that